Brandon Delgado, and my occupation was running the CrossFit gym here.
And I'm Mishawn Delgado, and my occupation was I ran a design business out of our gym, and then I also work at a veterinary hospital.
This is the home of what was once our beautiful gym.
Custom made CrossFit.
Mm-hmm. We opened in 2015, so it's a lot of years of hard work that we put into this place. 3 years seemed goes by so fast, but
Yeah.
now you look back on it and it seemed like a bigger chunk of our life than just 3 years.
Agreed.
Started off like a normal day. I have an early 5 a.m. class, so I got here, opened the doors, ran the class. I have a class at 6 a.m., which is a little bit smaller. So we ran that class and I walked everyone out, and the sun was out, and we saw a little shadow of smoke over there and didn't think much of it. And I went home, and that's things started to escalate pretty fast. Mishawn was in contact with our sister-in-law, who works for Paradise PD, and no one really knew, but she kind of had an insight that part of the town was already catching on fire. So that's when we started to pack up.
Yeah, and it wasn't really until she had mentioned that random trees in town had caught on fire, and where we were surrounded by a bunch of grass, we decided that even if it was not as serious and it was time to pack up and get the kids out of the house, get the animals out of the house, and just be, safe.
Yeah, so, you hear that, and still it was hard for me to believe that it was going to be that serious. And where our house is at, it's on the south end of town, so the smoke hadn't reached us yet. So we were kind of planning for a normal day. Mishawn was getting Presley ready for preschool, and I was ready to come back to my 9 o'clock class. It was then that it really set in. Once I drove up into town, you just hit that wall of smoke. It was pitch black, and that's when I knew it was serious. So that's when we decided to not wait for any evacuation call and just get out of town.
It was already black at our house and just raining like huge ash everywhere. Yeah. And that's when it kind of went into a little bit of panic mode. Even the Presley, our 4-year-old, she could tell something was happening. Yeah. Even by us not saying anything overtly to her, she was already panicking. So that's when we just got laundry baskets of clothes and whatever we had clean, and then got the animals and decided the safest place for us to go and the quickest to get out of town was to head towards Oroville rather than Chico, because we just thought there would be a lot of people. Agreed. And we got everybody unloaded and we walked outside. We were like, okay, this is going to be devastating. Like, there's no way that this town's going to survive by that balloon of smoke and just black smoke there was over the entire town. Just like all of these variables for 6 hours out of that day of just like, is everyone going to be okay? Is everyone going to get out okay? And, just sitting there safe, but just, worried the whole day.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, we start getting evacuation warnings that the part where we were might be evacuated. And it was just this sense of urgency to just try and keep moving to, farther and farther away. We just couldn't get comfortable from everything. So we went to friends in Plumas Lake. There was where we could finally just take a breath and just realize that we're safe, everybody is safe, and then try and pick up the pieces of what just happened.
Yeah.
It was just kind of go mode the entire day until we got to Plumas Lake at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was finally we could just all take a breath. Blocks over here, and I want this stack of where the plates were. This one right here on the end, it's they're all iridescent. Yeah, that's really cool. So I want to take those. Probably some more of the barbells. Just mainly for aesthetic reasons. Yeah. Oh yeah, these ones are pretty too. So we just take off. it'll be cool. You can make like
Yeah.
the new gym.
Favorite memory of Paradise was probably how green and how lush the land was. I think it's something we took for granted, being born and raised in this town, always being around the trees, always, seeing the nice scenery. It's, now that it's ripped from us, it's kind of like, wow, that was way more special than we can even imagine.
Yeah,
for me at least.
Mine's a daily life, just like the day-to-day like everything being normal. I think that's been the hardest part, is that nothing's normal, nothing's how it used to be. And so just like having that sense of community, of like running into people that at the grocery store, and just your daily life is what I definitely miss about Paradise.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Just recently we've been talking about this. I think it's now more than ever we feel this strong urge to start the gym. Obviously our passion for fitness started before we had built the gym, and that's part of the reason that gave us the idea to do this. But now that's been taken from us, and having our gym family separated, it gives us a stronger urge than was even originally there to rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think once we even saw it burn down, we were I think it's always been, we're going to rebuild. It may not be this year, it may not be next year, it may be in a different city, but we are going to rebuild. We do want to rebuild in Paradise, regardless if we have to open a location in the meantime in Chico until we can rebuild in Paradise, until things are cleaned up. But there's not a doubt in our mind that we will be back in Paradise.
Yeah. I think the greatest challenge for rebuilding is simply going to be ensuring people that you're going to be safe once you're here, from our water supply to all the dust in the air. I think that's going to be the biggest thing, is just ensuring people that they're going to be safe. And I think it's something that's going to take time.
Yeah, and I think focusing on the positive versus the negative. Yes, we have trees that burn down, but then we also get like amazing canyon views now at multiple spots in the town. So I think just being able to focus on the positive and trying to find solutions versus just kind of getting bad news and then cutting it right there is going to be really important for everybody. Let's try and not be negative. Let's try and find solutions. Let's try and find answers, so that way we can all just kind of come together and move on. I think just to know that this is still going to be a family town. This isn't all devastation. There can be good that comes from this devastation. A big complaint was that we didn't have sidewalks. Well, it's because we had too many trees close to the road, so we couldn't have sidewalks. Well, now we don't have that problem, and we can have more walking roads. Having a more modern downtown with more modern businesses, I think, is going to be really enticing to young families to come back to town. The schools are trying to come back, which is a huge part. And I just think that if everybody works together, I think we can rebuild Paradise.
Yeah, I think it'll help with the grieving process too, having us all rebuild together. And in the end, once it's all said and done and our town is back to what we can call normal, I think it'll be easier to have a sense of pride, because we all rebuilt this town together.
It's almost like everybody feels like they have a little bit of ownership of it.
Yeah, exactly. I can think just from the earliest day I've ever built something, it's that sense of pride of, oh, I built this, and I think everyone that comes together to rebuild this town will just be stronger, stronger when it's all said and done.